Hello, my name is Patrick Dennis, and I'm a senior from Beaufort, South Carolina.
My name is Joshua Boyd. I'm a senior from West Columbia, South Carolina.
My name is Austin Wertz. I'm a senior from Columbia, South Carolina. We are the research team for the renovations to Galena Park Independent School District Stadium at Galena Park, Texas. I'm going to be talking about the executive summary, an overview, and market analysis of our project. For our executive summary, our main purpose for the study is to analyze the cost and its relationship to projected finances for building and operating the renovations to the facility. We wanted to make sure this project can be profitable over time before we decided to accept it. Approaches to equity and public financing will be considered to ensure the best form of funding for the stadium. Galena Park, Texas is a small suburb of Houston, Texas that takes football very seriously, as does the rest of the state. The enrollment numbers of the two rival high school football teams in the Galena Park Independent School District have been increasing over the past 5 years alongside the population and wealth of Galena Park, Texas as a whole. The renovations to Galena Park Stadium are necessary for future growth in revenue for the school district and for the city as well. Over the last 6 years, the growth of student enrollment at North Shore High School and Galena Park High School inside the Galena Park School District has grown dramatically over the last 6 years. Now, what that tells us is that means new families are moving into the area, more money is coming into the area, and we need to make the renovations to the stadium so we can capitalize on bringing in those families so that their kids end up going to the same stadia, the same games that they're going to, that we brought them into. The market analysis, out of the 3,052 households in Galena Park, Texas, 33.6% have children under the age of 18. Of those citizens, approximately 60% are married or have families. Now, the total population of 10,887 people, there's 81% of those are Hispanic. And that's the highest, that's the fastest growing population total in Galena Park right now. And those are the majority of the families that we really want to reach. The stadium was originally built in 2002 for $20.9 million and was funded mostly by an election bond. We're going to start off by looking at the total population. Now, what I want you to really focus on is the 9.6 and the 8.9% of the entire population in bold that are children between age 10 and 19. Now, those kids are the ones that are in high school or going into high school. And the fastest growing families are the Hispanic families that make up 81% of this high school. Now, those are the families that we need to reach so that we can get their next generation business and as well as theirs. Now, this is going to increase our revenue. It's going to increase city wealth. This is going to be great for Galena Park, Texas. Now we're going to take a look at the households of Galena Park, Texas. Now, what I want to focus on is the 79% of family households. And 41.5% of those family households have children under the age of 18. And what that means is these families are going to be staying in one spot for quite some time. That gives us time to market to them and bring them into our stadium with our new renovations and everything that we're doing to improve Galena Park Stadium. Now, when you look at the children under 18 years old being 41.5%, what that's going to do is that's going to open up the door for the next generation of families. When those kids grow up, we want them to bring their kids to Galena Park Stadium to watch our events.
I'm Joshua Boyd, and I'll be talking about project description, key project assumptions, and the economic and fiscal impacts. For the project description, rather than constructing a new stadium, the project team has plans to renovate the Galena Park ISD Stadium. The main reason for renovating the stadium is to improve overall fan experience for all of our fans. We plan on following the model used by professional teams such as the Milwaukee Bucks when they renovated their arena. We are looking to improve the fan experience by renovating the old concessions by the home side stands into a more modern style and adding identical concession stands to the away side bleachers, mirroring the location of the old concessions on the away side. On the home bleachers, we plan on adding to the current 997 luxury-style seats for season ticket holders another 503 seats to bring the total to an even 1,500 seats for season ticket holders only. Our goal is to deliver the ultimate fan experience to our season ticket holders and everyone else in attendance because we know that it will bring them back again and again as loyal customers, which will spread positive word of mouth around the community about our stadium experience and attract new fans to the Galena Park Stadium. The estimated cost of the entire project is $871,000. This includes renovation of home concessions, the building of new away concessions, adding 503 premium seating arrangements for season ticket holders, and a creative play area for children. The entire project is scheduled to be completed at 7 months. For our key assumptions, in order for our project to happen, we needed to assume a few different things. The schools using the facility, the patrons attending the events, the investors, and a bond election would help pay for the renovation of the Galena Park Stadium. The main focus for financing of our stadium renovation centers on a bond election. A bond election is an election that avails an opportunity for voters of a district to consider the issuance of a bond. We are going to make a few other assumptions for this project as well. The other financing methods focus more on a grassroots or local fundraising effort in order to renovate the facility, as well as donations and gifts from famous alumni. This plan could prove to be more beneficial to the team in the future because fans that participate could lead to more long-term revenue in terms of loyal fans purchasing tickets, merchandise, and spreading positive word of mouth throughout the community and throughout Texas over time. There are a variety of options for revenue sources for Galena Park High School. The first major revenue source that Galena Park High School has is the revenue from tickets sold. The facility holds 10,300 seats, providing the school with the opportunity to bring in a strong revenue stream, especially from the 1,500 season ticket holder seats we are adding. In terms of growth rates of income and expenses, there was an equal number of income and expenses. While the income from booster donations, sales of tickets, concessions, and merchandise will continue to rise, so will your expenses. Those expenses are daily operation costs and stadium upkeep that must be managed properly to ensure positive cash flows. While the amounts of expenses are sizable, we believe we can generate enough money to renovate and update Galena Park Stadium to make it a more interactive and convenient fan experience for everyone in attendance. It is a worthwhile improvement so we can charge more for season ticket holders and away teams renting out the stadium while also raising attendance at each game, which still will increase ancillary revenues as well at each game. There will be an extremely positive economic and fiscal impact on the community of Galena Park, Texas, as a result of the renovations we intend to make to the Galena Park Stadium. The construction of the new renovations will temporarily employ a team of independent contractors for 7 months in the community. After the renovations are completed, the stadium will be more attractive for new clients looking for somewhere to play their tournament and games that will bring in more revenue for the Galena Park Independent School District. Another positive impact these renovations will have on the community will be all the additional tourists and visitors it brings into Galena Park, Texas, from away teams paying to rent out the facility for their respective competitions. When away teams come to experience the stadium's upgrades and watch their teams compete, all the fans from other cities will be spending their money at local businesses in Galena Park. Many tourists will be buying their gas at local gas stations, staying in local hotels, eating at restaurants, drinking in bars, and buying groceries before even stepping into the stadium. These purchases all bolster the economy and community of Galena Park by bringing in more wealth. Once the visitors are inside our stadium, they buy souvenirs, merchandise, and concessions after purchasing tickets and parking outside. All this revenue gets dumped into Galena Park Independent School District, which only helps improve the quality of the academic and athletic programs provided by the high schools and school district of the community.
Once again, I'm Patrick Dennis, and I'm going to talk to you briefly about the pro forma financials, the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow statement, and a few of the different schedules. One of the key factors that we took into account when studying the feasibility of this project was the financials. To do this, we created forecasts based on current trends and comparable high school stadium operations. Let's first take a look at our income statement. Here you can see our planned income projected 5 years into the future. We included both regular season and playoff game ticket revenue because the stadium hosts playoff games for outside schools. Based on historical data, we assumed approximately 4,000 to 5,000 people to pay $6 a ticket for 10 regular season games, giving us a revenue of $300,000 the first year, and fluctuating after that based on attendance. For playoff game revenue, We assumed approximately 3,000 fans would be in attendance since most teams in the playoffs are traveling from outside of Galena Park. At $8 a ticket for 3 games, we came up with revenue of $72,000 a year. The stadium offers 1,800 parking spaces nearby at $10 a car, giving us parking revenue of $234,000 a year. And based on other local high school concession prices, we determined a concession revenue of $325,000 a year. From numbers from a local ad agency in Galena Park, Texas, we generated a revenue for advertising of $49,779 a year. Lastly, these numbers total out to $1,308,779 the first year and vary slightly after that due to increased or decreased attendance and other external factors. We then take into account all of our expenses. Utilities, insurance, maintenance, and employee salaries come up with a total of $1,103,667 in expenses the first year, and again, the numbers increase and decrease the following year due to inflation and other external factors. This leaves us with a net income of $161,774 the first year after renovations. Next, let's take a look at the balance sheet. Here we can see that our finances are balanced, meaning that the assets are equal to the total liabilities plus owner's equity. We start with our current assets, cash, inventory, and accounts receivable, giving us a current asset total of $294,462 in year 1. As we look at the long-term assets, land, building, equipment, and accumulated depreciation, our long-term assets equal $860,433 for year 1, bringing our total asset value to $1,154,896. We will now look to the current liabilities, accounts payable, and short-term debt. Our total for current liabilities for year 1 equaled $250,554. Long-term liabilities, which in our case only consisted of long-term debt, equaled $342,567. Owner's equity consisted of retained earnings and gifts and donations that totaled $561,774. This brings the total for liabilities and owner's equity equal to the assets of at $1,154,896 for year 1. The projections for the next 4 years also balance. Now let's move on to our schedules. Here is the T-chart. This worksheet is vital because it shows cash in year 1. In the T-chart, after subtracting debits from credits, we see our cash equals out to $8,306. We also did a statement of cash flows. Here we can see how the cash moves from year to year, and we can track any major inflows or outflows. We see that our debts are being paid off and our cash is increasing each year. Lastly, let's take a look at our loan amortization schedule. We plan on having an election bond for $400,000 to partially finance the renovations, and we'll pay it back in 10 years at an 8% annual interest rate. From this, we can see the total payment needed each year in return for the loan.
After review of the financials for the project, we have decided that the project for renovations to Galena Park ISD Stadium are feasible and beneficial to Galena Park Independent School District.
These renovations will increase the fan experience, which will help generate more events outside of North Shore High School and Galena Park High School football.
Overall, better fan experience equals higher revenue.